guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness here on terrific Tuesday here in Connecticut. And welcome to one-stop shopping for all your health and fitness needs. Run faster, jump higher, throw farther. Lose weight fast. Guys, life's good. The world, Chico, and everything in it. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. Dr. Fauci finally agrees with me. Guys, I have been saying this for 6 months. And I'm saying this for different reasons than Fauci. But if Fauci had any idea how diseases were transmitted, he would have nipped this in the bud months ago. Now, let me explain. I am a retired of 30 years of inner city public school teaching. Okay? I'm 5 years removed from my tenure in the public schools, and I came to it a little later in life. I didn't start teaching until I was 34, 35, doesn't matter. But I take it very, very seriously. My wife is still a teacher. She has been with me teaching the entire time. That's where I met her at my first PS 229 in Brooklyn, my first public school gig, so to speak. She is now in the private school. She likes that much better than what the public schools have become, but that's neither here nor there. Now, Fauci came out the other day, and I am going to leave the link down below, if I can find it again. I saw it on an interview with a segment from Tucker Carlson, where Fauci came right out and said, guys, there is no reason to close the schools again. Not only is the virus very rarely contacted or transmitted by this group, guys, they are just not getting it. They are just not getting it like different segments, demographics of the public. Now, my mother is 90 years old and lives in a senior center, and they are buttoned down tight as well as they should be. Now, the senior citizens of I am a member, senior citizens, that group is getting zapped. Why? Because the immune system of that demographic is so compromised. And so often, like my mother, unlike myself, but like my mother, they have other extenuating circumstances, other diseases that they are dealing with. Asthma, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, on and on and on. You know, you go and visit my mother, I'm going to say about 30% of them already have the oxygen masks on. Okay, and you throw in a little coronavirus or, you know, just the regular flu, which comes with congestion. Guys, they don't have the strength, they don't have the immune system to fight it off, and they die. And they have to be careful. There's no question about it. They are quarantined up to max, and I completely 100% agree with them. On the other hand, research shows behind a shadow of a doubt that pre-K to 25 years old, that demographic, that age group, does not get the disease. It is less than 1% that they get the disease, okay? And it's 0.00000 that they die from the disease. Guys, it is a fact. A school-aged child from the age of pre-K, which is approximately 4 years old, to 25 years old, has a better chance of getting hit by lightning than dying of the coronavirus. That's a fact. And guys, we do not close the schools every time there is a thunderstorm. You can't do it. I cannot begin to tell you the travesty that this is wreaking on these children's education. Not only that, every time they have a sniffle, they're sent home and they're quarantined. We're developing a generation of hypochondriacs on top of just just these big gaping holes in their education. And guys, yes, I take that very seriously. And Governor Cuomo and Bill de Blasio, to name two, there's dozens of them, but those two just cavalierly closed the public schools for no reason. No reason. Yes, I have a huge problem with that. Now, I try to stay clear of politics, but this has to do with common sense. And this has to do with having some compassion for your fellow man. These two jackasses, Cuomo, who grew up in the lap of luxury, who has never had to worry about in any way, shape, or form, worry about putting food on the table, worry about more, is just closing small businesses that women fancy and closing the schools for no reason. He closed them, he and de Blasio called the New York City schools for 2 weeks away. And the exact information that Fauci used today was in place too, and they just ignored it. They just decided we're closing the schools. There was a spike in Staten Island, okay? A spike of the disease in Staten Island. Had nothing to do with the schools. There was no spike in disease in the schools, but they closed the schools anyway. Now, the fact of the matter is, if there is a spike in coronavirus in Staten Island, there is no safer place for Staten Island kids to be than in school. That is a fact. Straight from the words of Fauci. I have been saying this for 6 months. Now, I didn't need the statistics to show that. All I needed to know, and the reason I was saying this, I said at the beginning, we're saying this for a different reason. And I was saying it because that is flat out not the way these diseases are transmitted. And I've done 3 or 4 videos on this before, so I'm not going to go into that again. But the fact of the matter is, if somebody was dying of coronavirus and they walked in this room right now, I would let them sneeze in my mouth and I wouldn't get anything resembling coronavirus. That's not the way they are transmitted. Just not. That's why I was saying it's crazy to close the schools 6 months ago. But since that time, guys, this has been almost a year. If you remember, Trump initially started closing down the country, especially all the exports from China, imports from China, and all that sort of stuff, back in January. This is close to a year that we have doing this. And we have a body of work. We have a body of work. We have a significant statistics that, yes, the senior citizens have to be protected at all costs. The school-age children are good to go. It's the safest, literally, more than a restaurant, more than a bar, more than a gym. Gyms are very safe too. A public school in this country at this moment is the safest place to be from coronavirus. And to just cavalierly, for no reason whatsoever, other than a spike in corona in Staten Island, to close the city schools is asinine. It's cruel what you are doing to these children. Cruel. And if everybody really, and I'm saying this as a 30-year educator, if everybody really and truly cared about these children's education across the board, they would have every single student in this country repeat the grade. Who cares if you go to school and you're 18 or 19? Or 19 or 20? Who cares if you go to college? Who cares if you don't enter the workforce until you're 19 instead of 18? It makes no difference. But it does an enormous difference in your education. And it's just absolutely 100% deplorable what's going on. But finally, Fauci came right out and said, the schools are safe. And if you are in a district that anybody is still shutting the schools, you have the right to go up and knock on that person's door and say, WTF, man, this is wrong. Anyway, eat and drink your fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. Love you all.